Hello and welcome to a humble Highland home as we embrace the autumn equinox, which marks the official end of summer and the beginning of the autumn season. It's the time of year that I have to be mindful and remind myself to keep everything in balance as I continue to harvest from the garden and also foraging in the wilder areas. I really am like a wee squirrel at this time of year, bringing in the harvests and preserving it for the colder times. I've also been closely watching the changes in the plants that I've purposely let to go to seed, so I can gather the precious seeds to cure and preserve them and store them in readiness for the next growing season. These are leek seeds that I've been supporting from falling over because the tops got too heavy, and I've been checking for the little black seed in amongst the seed pod, so I know just when to cut them off. Many people have got their own way of doing this, but I generally just use a brown paper bag and then I use the cut stem, turn it upside down and hang it up in the house until they're dry, and then the seeds generally just fall out into the paper bag. Saving seeds can be quite time consuming. However, this is part of the knowing and acceptance when planting the first seeds in springtime that at some point in autumn time seeds would be produced as part of the plant's own life cycle and the cycle for us of growing, harvesting and then seed saving. And this is a really good excuse to give yourself permission to slow down and enjoy this final step and secure a more robust household seed bank for the following year. One of my favourite things about autumn are the changing colours. The colours of the trees and the leaves and the low sun in the sky can be breathtaking. So I'm bringing a few autumn colours into the garden. Now I've been out foraging this week at different times, and one of the things that I generally pick up throughout the year, but especially at this time, are pine cones. I've shown me using pine cones in different videos, and this is generally where I get them from. So I might use them for craft projects, as decorations for gifts, but also for firelighters. Pine cones, once very dry, are absolutely superb at helping to get a fire started. They're provided in nature and they come free. There are lots of wild foods available at this time of year, but I only harvest the things that I know that I'm definitely going to use. Now I have an agreement with my mum and dad. They grow the elderberries and then I make a family winter tonic to help to keep everyone in good health throughout the cold and flu season. As always, please forage responsibly, do your own research and be absolutely sure of your plant identification before consuming anything in the wild. And And just remember that this is a valuable winter food source for our wildlife, so only take what you need. These are Rosary Goza rose hips. I much prefer these as they tend to have more fruit, and the seeds I find are easier to take out. There are other rose hips that you can collect, but these are my favourite, and these are the ones that I collect every single year. It is still time consuming to process them all, but I find that it's worth it because I like to make a winter tea, and I also have a recipe that I add them to a winter tonic when I've been feeling unwell. Rose hips are reported to have high levels of antioxidants, vitamins, and especially vitamin C and vitamin A, which may boost your immune system. However, they can have some side effects, so as always, be sure of what you're consuming before you consume it, and seek medical advice if you're unsure. So this is what the start of autumn looks like to me. I'm not putting any pressure on myself to make things with all of the produce that I managed to harvest. But instead we continue to eat fresh from the garden, and then any excess we either share it or then I preserve it by drying or by freezing, and then I can use it at a later date. These are my homegrown tomatoes that were a little bit late in ripening up this year, and I've managed to get all the varieties mixed up, so when it comes to seed saving, it's going to be a bit of a potluck next year when I replant them. The jelly-like substance that surrounds the seed is a germination inhibitor, and that prevents the seeds from germinating too early. There are different ways of saving tomato seeds, but I generally just soak them to remove the jelly-like substance, and then I give them a good rinse and allow them to dry and store them over winter. And of course it wouldn't be autumn without lots of apples, which grow incredibly well in this area. So I'm drying some and we'll store some for snacks, and also I freeze lots so that I can use them in jams, because apples have got natural pectin in them, so I like to use them in jams and chutneys, and also for apple crumble and apple pie. And of course all the apple scraps, the peelings and the cores are perfect to use to make up an apple jelly, or you could make apple cider vinegar, or if not, it's perfect for the compost. So I'm going to continue putting this produce by and squirreling, preserving, drying and seed saving. Let me know in the comments below how you're getting on with your autumn preparations. So for now, I thank you so much for joining me here today. Take care of yourself and others, and I'll see you in the next video.